As a, as a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, a NAC accredited with A grade deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Applications, in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organized this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is the 104th edition, 21st January 2023. Normally it happens in Indian Standard Time. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency, the Secretary General ARDO, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Study, Center for Agri-Business and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our guest speaker, Shri J.A. Chowdhary Garu, Chairman, Indian Block Standards Committee, Founding Director, Software Technology Park of India, Hyderabad and Bangalore, and former IT advisor to Honorable Chief Minister Andhra Pradesh during the period 2014 to 2019. I wish to inform the participants and the speaker that the university regularly conducts two webinar series, namely National Webinar Series and Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in Agriculture, and on every Thursday, and the International Webinar Series on Open Source Digital Technology towards Self-Reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, on every Saturday. Under this International Webinar Series, these two centers of excellence, CIDSA and CITSA, have organized 103 lectures so far on various topics. Let me just list out the topic for the benefits of the participants and our guest speaker. Open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure. A roadmap for students to using free and open source software and reaching goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Open source software and industrial IoTs for SMEs. Free and open source software for adoption and business model. An open data platform for smart digital government. Technology imperatives, make in India for self-reliance, edge artificial intelligence, data governance for self-reliant India, Digital India transforming governance and society, India's email service, citizen@indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized languages, ecosystem architecture for digital transformation, education system cyber critical infrastructure, seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in the digital world for self-reliant economy, ensuring food safety and compliance through technology, Digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India, technology investment in agriculture value chain, role of foreign direct investments, entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways, rise of platform economy, revisiting value chain governance, year of automation, industrial robotics, and Industry 4.0, Indo-German perspective of technology transfer, skill gap analysis, and opportunities, role of artificial intelligence in healthcare, current developments in diagnosis and vaccine research, digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective, health informatics network value chain, e-health system and beyond, leveraging emerging technologies for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food supply chain, unleash the power of citizen development for enterprise software development, Indian MSMEs to adopt Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, urgent need for mentorship and accelerator program, building public digital platform using microservices and APIs, health informatics network value chain, early childhood development and learning, health informatics network value chain, clinical AI, interface between machine learning and health informatics. India has got about something like 35,000 primary health center, public primary health center, and about 40,000 animal primary health center, and there is no clinical AI. Health informatics network value chain, imperatives of social medicine and community health in the times of health emergency. G-Filter, a simple and low-cost solution to the drinking water treatment in rural India. Open source GovTech startups empowering growth with automation. Digital transformation in small enterprises and small businesses of India, challenges and opportunities. National Digital Twin Program, need for a robust geospatial infrastructure for smart city programs to be successful. Industry 4.0 in MSMEs, benefits of indigenously developed CollabCAD software from National Informatics Center, mass serialization and anti-counterfeiting solutions to fight illicit trade, cyber security, risk and challenges and solutions, intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk, new internet IPv6 root server toward Atmanirbhar Connected Bharat, Indian startups, reflections and possible policy intervention needed for scaling up to Gram Panchayat by Shri Ajay Mutreja, blockchain and crypto for digital assets platform, pathways for global trade, robot as a service, leverage technology to solve enterprise challenges, space startups, connecting to international markets with emerging business models, enabling technologies for future vision, Vivekananda Secondary Education and Skills Development Mega Project, its potential impact on rural entrepreneurship and rural economy in India, Sports Grail, a digital sports media platform, and prospects of Indian sports industry sustainability model at global level, Pharma 4.0, Industry 4.0 applications to pharmaceutical manufacturing path to a digital transformation, accelerate, scale, non-linear growth through partner ecosystem, technological renaissance and the human capital, a perspective, health informatics network value chain, medical outreach, challenges and potential. Beyond COVID-19, revisiting micro and small enterprises, project management essential, launch pad for future CEOs and startup founders beyond. Society 5.0, a new society beyond Industry 4.0 and post-COVID-19 by the former Managing Director of Sharp India Private Limited. Smart Village / Community, African IoT / ICT lessons. Digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower for self-reliance. Pragmatic ways for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Democratization of essential services by using sustainable energy as a catalyst. Transforming India through relevant education and vocational training. Digital technology in simplifying citizen life. Online learning during the pandemic and its future. Smart microeconomic zones. Pathway for self-reliance at village level. Atmanirbhar village. Crime prediction support system. Knowledge management for development partnership to achieve the sustainable development goals of UN and implementing the Agenda 2030. Millet value chain from IoT to blockchain, a traceability roadmap. Aspirational district program in left-wing extremism affected district, a successful model of data-driven governance. Digital agriculture supply chain and trading hub, a geo-economic perspective. Market-driven agriculture need for development of crop-specific strategy at block level. An open agri network to unlock the $1 trillion plus potential of Indian agriculture with the smallholder farmers. Developing rural entrepreneurship to ensure doubling of farmers' income. Leveraging the power of convergence through connecting the dots. Agri startups, agripreneurs, and rural innovators. By Mr. Sanjeev Rohilla, CEO, NABARD Foundation. Agronomy plus AI is equal to precision farming. Doubling farmers' income, imperative of plant health informatics network. Doubling commercial breadfruit value chain to help farmers reach high-value markets. Commodity value chain creation through agri network and agri AI. Farm to plate, a one-stop agri-tech platform to simplify supply chain and e-commerce needs of food and perishable commodities. Health Informatics Network Value Chain, National Animal Disease Reporting System, 2012 and beyond. AI and Metaverse frontiers in workspace, coconut value chain challenge, transforming into opportunities. Coffee informatics network value chain, facilitating smallholder for coffee farmers into business. Health informatics network value chain, building up one health ecosystem, role of digital architecture. Diversification of fish and fisheries, resource management, and its challenges in Bangladesh. Data mining and digital architecture, digital agriculture, drone technology ecosystem, empowering smallholder farmers in India. Fisheries informatics network value chain, business plan for fisheries cooperatives to attract investors, making urbanization work for poor through new technologies. Disruptive technologies in precision agriculture, strategy for total development of local areas with ICT, digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower self-reliance. Sustainability frameworks for standards for agriculture commodities, global experience. We Mill, a social business initiative for rural women. E-governance in Digital India, challenges and potential by Major Namrata Dasmana. Applications of AI in digitization in agriculture and animal husbandry. Organic and natural farming, certification and way forward. Transformation through technology. T3, pathway for industries to embrace digital, operational, and knowledge transformation for participating in global value chain. Health informatics network value chain, digital health analytics to digital twine for better health care. Smart, sustainably managing agriculture in remote train technologies, empowering farmers to make agriculture profitable and sustainable. India becoming drone technologies global hub by 2030. Opportunities, challenges, and way forward. Regeneration and acceleration of agribusiness through digital transformation. Connect One, a connecting platform for empowered farming communities. Changing landscape of entrepreneurship in digital age. Creating shared value and being socially responsible. Agri entrepreneurship and opportunity in India by Dr. Thinesh Kumar Dyagi, former Managing Director, Common Services Center, E-Governance Services India Limited, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Today is the 104th edition of this very important webinar series. We'll have the talk by our guest speaker, Shri Jakkampudi, Adiseshaiah Chowdhary, Chairman, Indian Blockchain Standards Committee, Founding Director, Software Technology Parks of India, Hyderabad and Bangalore. Former advisor, IT advisor to Honorable Chief Minister Andhra Pradesh, 2014 to 2019. Very important topic. Golden era for Indian startups. Why? And overview. India is said to be a land of villages. Acharya Vinoba Bhave said that India is largely an agrarian country, agricultural country, Gram Pradhan Desh, and a country of villages, having more than 6.25 lakh villages. It employs more than 50% of India's workforce and contributes to the tune of 19% of GDP. And at present, agricultural livelihoods are being severely impacted world over as a result of anthropogenic global warming and climate change. Farmers of India are facing multidimensional problems: price fluctuation, debt, lack of infrastructure, and weather. Indian farming community comprises of about 14.5 crore operational holdings, of which 85% farmers are having small and marginal size operational holdings. Farmer needs timely, location specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production, risk, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. Many national level programs, be it Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, Stand Up India, and Scale Up India, have faced operational difficulties for its impact at farm level and farmer level, that to at to small and marginal farmers. I would like to quote our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, at the 7th Governing Council meeting of Niti Aayog held on 7th August 2022 in New Delhi. In his opening address, he stressed, I quote, the need to focus on modernized agriculture, animal husbandry, and food processing to become self-sufficient and global leader in the agriculture. In his closing remark, he said, I quote, each state should focus on promoting trade, tourism, and technology via every Indian mission around the world. The states must focus on reducing imports, increasing exports, and identifying opportunities thereof. And I also would like to quote the recommendations of the Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 report 2018. It is popularly known as Dr. Ashok Dalwai Committee report, with which I have been also associated as the group leader for two subgroups, Volume 11 and Volume 12B. Volume 11 is empowering the farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination, and Volume 12B is digital technology in agriculture. I'm very happy that the chairman of the committee, even though the volume 12 talked about science and technology for enhancing farmers' income, but the digital technology in agriculture put it as a separate volume, volume 12B. It recommends 7 mission mode programs. If this is operationalized, Indian agriculture will be totally operationalized. What are the recommendations? Digitalized agriculture, digital technology and innovation in agriculture, Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India programs for transformational reforms in agriculture, resulting in smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming, which includes smart hill agriculture. Digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions. Digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro-level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming. Digitalized value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities, and digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agriculture, finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers. Digitalized integrated land and water management system per drop, more crop, and digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmer loss. This last recommendation alone will result in $1 trillion data economy. It means that you will see the data in an integrated manner: human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, fish health, and environment health. These data are now silos, and it has to be mapped using GIS technology and drone technology systems, and on every village and every farm. And we have a Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, are making India self-reliant nation based on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, and infrastructure in innovation, based on 5 pillars, namely quantum jump in economy, infrastructure, one that represents modern India, systems, 21st century technology driven and vibrant demography, demand, whereby the strength of our demand and supply chains should be utilized to full capacity. Digital India program aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. And agriculture and sustainable rural livelihood was envisaged through National Conference on Informatics for Sustainable Agriculture Development, May 1995, which gave a total IT blueprint to Government of India. I was instrumental in organizing this conference in 1995. And that conference, it came out with AgriSnet, AgMarkNet, SeedNet, HeartNet, Animal Production and Health Informatics Network, Fisheries Informatics Network, FERTNet, and so on and so forth. We also asked for 3 to 6% of the agriculture budget should be earmarked for IT in agriculture, way back in 95. And Digital India aimed to provide much needed thrust to 9 pillars of the growth areas: broadband highways, universal access to mobile connectivity, public internet access program, e-governance, reforming government through technology. Central government, more than 50 departments, and 28 state governments, and national capital of territory and union territories. And we would like to see, e-Estonia in every district in India. Why should our officials should go to Estonia to see Estonia when we have that much capability? And that the visiting Estonia is a colonial mindset, and we have to develop every district as e-district, effective e-district. And it is very important that on February 20th, 2019, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology published a report titled India's $1 trillion Digital Economy in collaboration with the McKinsey and Company. The report identified 30 digital themes. If scaled up nationally, can accelerate India's progress in 9 key areas. This report is 2019, and we have Amrit Kaal led up to 100, and it has a blueprint. Government of India has come out with a blueprint and also has got published a national logistic policy. And I also would like to quote our Prime Minister's historical Independent Day speech on 15th August 2022. He provided 5 pledges to to India. That is, one is goal of developed India, and remove any trace of colonial mindset, take pride in our roots, and unity and sense of duty among the citizens. We have Sustainable Development Goals of UN and the Agenda 2030, 17 sustainable goals and 169 targets to be achieved. If the agriculture sector is digitalized as recommended by Dr. Ashok Dalwai Committee recommendations, and also the way in which we have made a blueprint in 1987 and also in 1995, the SDG, all the 17 goals can be achieved without any problems, because digitalization and agriculture is important for achieving the other 17 sustainable development goals. Prospective and challenges in IT for agriculture. Opportunities for entrepreneurial startups in India. It is an article written by me in 2016, and I was telling that day onwards that the country needs 2.25 lakh agri-tech startups, one per each Gram Panchayat. And innovation and e-governance in agriculture requires having government process re-engineering using bottom-up method from farm level and farmer level, and for achieving digital inclusion for Indian farmers. In view of these challenges and perspective, the paper brings out an important feature of Shobhit University's model, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, for strengthening the envisaged ecosystem for bridging the development gaps in agricultural informatics professional through MTech and BTech agricultural informatics program. Every higher education institution in the country, be it IIT, be it NIT, be it IIIT, be it Central University, be it IIM, and deemed universities, and about 4,500 engineering colleges should have a center for agricultural informatics and e-governance research studies, because India is an agrarian economy. And Ministry of Agriculture also come out with the innovation and agri-entrepreneurship development, agri-startups. And they also identified the startups can come up in agro-processing, artificial intelligence, digital agriculture, farm mechanization, waste to agricultural wealth, and dairy and fisheries. And agribusiness incubators, Government of India under RKVY Raftar program, 25 agribusiness incubation centers have been established across India. And we have traditionally agri-clinic and agribusiness centers. And it is a matured program, but agri-startups have to emerge through agri-clinic centers and agribusiness centers. We have 1 lakh primary agriculture cooperative societies, and we have 22,000 primary fisher cooperative societies. We have more than 1.5 lakh dairy cooperative societies. And these number of cooperative societies in agriculture sector also should associate startups to make a value chain of their respective cooperative societies. Till recently, Dr. Dinesh Tyagi was the Managing Director of Common Services Center. On 7th January, he delivered a talk in the international webinar series that agri-entrepreneurship, the potentialities in India. And I reminded him, when I was in the service as Director General National Informatics Center, in the month of May 2013, we had a program, one-day program, and we invited Secretary Agriculture, Mr. Satyanarayana, and the Managing Director, Dr. Dinesh Tyagi. and also the State Informatics Officer of National Informatics Center. And that program emphasized that 10% of the the common services center should be earmarked for Farmers Common Services Center. And today we have more than 6 lakhs common services centers. Until now, this recommendation, this suggestion have not seen the light of the day. I raised it, and in his speech, he said that the country needs 6 lakhs agro CSCs, one agri CSCs in every village. And each agri CSCs can give 10 jobs, means we can create 6 million jobs. And we have to have 2.25 agri-tech startup, one per each Gram Panchayat. And this is the mission with the vision. And under the ongoing webinar series, we also had about 24 webinars on the relevant topics. One I would like to quote Mr. Ajay Muthreja, and he has, is a strategy advisor and mentor for MSMEs and startups, including social impact enterprises. He said, reflections and possible policy intervention needed for scaling up to Panchayat, Gram Panchayat. And this is very important to impact agricultural sector. And in his talk, he also talked about that, there is an Aspire program, a scheme for promotion of innovation, rural industries, and the entrepreneurship of Ministry of MSMEs. And this has to be activated, because this Aspire program is supposed to create new jobs, reduce unemployment, promote entrepreneurship culture in India, and grassroots economic development at the district level, and facilitate innovative business solutions for unmet social needs, and promote innovations for strengthen the competitiveness of MSME sector. And there are a number of recognized startups between 2016 to 2022 from the website www.statista.com. In the year 2022, 19,000 startups were recognized by the Department of Promotion of Industries and Internal Trade. Chowdhary ji, can you put your video on? And India's startup economy has been growing since 2016, with the business mushrooming rapidly across the country. To support and sustain its growth, Indian government has launched a Startup India initiative. As of 2022, a total number of 80,152 startups had been officially recognized by the Department of Promotion of Industry and International Trade. Drivers of startup ecosystems, corporate connect, government support, and over 26 states in the country have got startup policies. Startup founders and venture capitalists wrote to our Honorable Prime Minister Moni on it was published on 6th August 2021 in Economic Times on direct overseas listing of Indian companies. The current inability of unlisted companies to tap international markets for raising capital is an impediment to growth, and most Indian startups don't have a level playing field with their foreign counterparts. It also leads to migration of startups outside India or flipping. Valuation of sectors like SaaS or InsurTech would be more abroad. What might work for a consumer company here might be different for another sector focused startup. Agri-tech in India, emerging trends in 2019, NASCOM has published these areas: market linkage, digital agriculture, better access to inputs, farming as a solution, and financing. So this operationalization of Dr. Dalwai Committee report, Digital Technology in Agriculture, and Farm Extension 4.0 in 12 areas can facilitate 2.25 lakh agri-tech startup, one per Gram Panchayat, in the country. And the centers of excellence of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology and NAC accredited with A grade deemed to be university is focusing on digital technology in agriculture, digital technology in MSMEs, and digital technology in health. We launched MTech in Agricultural Informatics, MBA in Agribusiness Management, MTech in Informatics and E-Governance, MBA in Industry 4.0 for CEOs of SMEs, and MSc in Health Informatics. And it's very important. We also conducted a webinar on during the COVID situation, June 27th June 2020, in association with the IIM Lucknow. And very important recommendation is promotion of MSME, economically fruitful in villages, for agriculture and food processing sector to ensure right price for farm produce at farm gate, agri startups. And then Krishi Vigyan Kendras as mentor institution for startups. We don't have even one agri startup in every state, every district. 753 districts, but we have less than 700 agri startup, Krishi Vigyan Kendras. Needed to tie up by startups with the technology companies, and necessity to have a public policy on incubators, accelerators to network startups in agriculture sector at panchayat level to higher educational institution. I think why I brought it is that I would like to request Shri Chowdhary Garuji to address these points, which are all there as a recommendation, and the government is yet to take note of. With this background, let us now turn to the address by our guest speaker, Shri J.A. Chowdhary Garu, Chairman, Indian Blockchain Standards Committee and Founding Director of Software Technology Park of India, Hyderabad and Bangalore, and former IT Advisor to Honorable Chief Minister, Andhra Pradesh 2014 to 19. This topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching our telecast through facebook.com/Shobhit University India, youtube.com/Shobhit University in, linkedin.com/company/Shobhit-University for regeneration and acceleration of rural transformation at village level, and also to establish 2.25 lakh agri-tech startups, one per Gram Panchayat, in association with common services centers in the country. And I will introduce our guest speaker to the audience, Mr. Manish. Shri J.A. Chowdhary is an entrepreneur, technology leader, angel investor, industry leader with an illustrious career spanning across private and public sectors. He is passionate about improving the lives of Indian youth through technology education and employment opportunities. Over the last 35 years, Shri Jakkampudi Adiseshaiah Chowdhary has helped to grow the Indian industry in the capacity of IT advisor and a policy advocate for several Indian state governments. Special Chief Secretary, rank of Cabinet Minister to Andhra Pradesh government in the Chief Minister's office during 2014-2019. Advised and assisted the government in bringing in investments, generating employment, and encouraging innovation and startup activities in Andhra Pradesh. Head of several Indian and global industry forums such as FICCI, ASSOCHAM, AmCham, CIDSA, IEEE. Chairman of STPI, Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. Founder and India Managing Director of Global Technology Companies. Advisor to universities and technology institutions. Co-founded Talent Sprint, a leading edtech company in India. Co-founded Portal Flyer, a company that designed the core chip and software that powered Apple's iPod. And it has been acquired by NVIDIA Corporation, angel investor and mentor to entrepreneurs and students. During the early days of his career, he was awarded with the NRDC Independence Day Innovation Award by Government of India. J. Chowdhary received the Lifetime Achievement Award from Hyderabad Software Exporters Association in 2021. Received an award for his outstanding contribution to Indian fintech and startup ecosystem during the Fintech Festival 2022. He is also proud of the fact that he has worked at ISRO Satellite Center in developing telemetry subsystem for Rohini and Bhaskara satellites. J. Chowdhary received his MTech from IIT Madras and MSc from Sri Venkateshwara University. Key current activities: Chairman of Blockchain Committee at Bureau of Indian Standards, Government of India, spreading the formulation of Indian standards for blockchain technology, which will become part of ISO standards for blockchain international standards. Co-founder of FinTech forums in India at Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai, with members from government, investment community, education research community, financial institutes, and technology companies to encourage FinTech startups and adoption. Member of the IIT MAA Thought Leadership Council, and Board of Director Amara Raja Electronics, and few other organizations. With this introduction, I invite J.A. Chowdhary Garu and to the international webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant Atmanirbhar Bharat to talk on golden era for Indian startups, why, and overview. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor Moni. I really appreciate the passion at which you are driving these activities. In fact, the kind of webinars you already conducted, I don't think there is a need for me to talk about the opportunities in India for startups. You covered pretty much the length and breadth of all the technologies. If you sum up all those things, I think that it itself provides the essence of my topic today. But at the same time, I would like to start with two anecdotes or two actual incidents happened, probably which will trigger why my topic is relevant. Professor Moni, what is the time that I can have this? Is there any time limit, or I can
No.
talk?
There is no time limit, sir. You can go up to
Okay,
60, 70 minutes.
okay. I would like to know. Because I don't want to bore the people with a lot of statistics and all that. So before I actually start my presentation, I'll tell you what happened during 90s when the India was going through the license Raj. I was with the Department of Electronics, Delhi, not giving licenses for importation of computer equipment or electronic equipment. We were incentivized not to give the import approvals. That was the license Raj, where I worked in Loknaik Bhavan, Department of Electronics in Delhi. Those days, to import any computer with a 350% customs duty and a long, maybe 1 year, sometimes 2 years also, they have to wait. By the time they get the license, the technology would have got this thing, and they have to buy a new one. That is the kind of situation was there. And fortunately, Texas Instruments wants to set up a first development center in India, and that's the time I think the real transformation happened. That happened during 80s. That was the beginning of what we see. Whatever you mentioned, Professor Moni, in your speech, all those things, the seed actually started happening in 80s. And when Texas Instruments want to set up a development center in India, before that, most of the Indian IT companies, in fact, we used to call them body shopping companies. That means they used to pick up bodies from IITs and IISc and take them and put those bodies in some companies in America, Europe, and all that. That's how, because the other business model was not allowing them to start any offshore development because of the license as dynamics. Fortunately for us, TI forced India to relook at what is the potential that India has, what is the kind of job opportunities one can unleash, and that happened. In fact, we should thank Texas Instruments for making that think at the government of India level that there is a need for us to create a new platform called Software Technology Parks of India. All the powers were vested with one department, one society called STPI, whether it's import license, the RBI export valuation, all those things were given those powers. In fact, they gave experimental license. First 1 year, they want to do the experimentation, and the committee of secretaries headed by Cabinet Secretary, Government of India, they were monitoring whether this STPI scheme is working or not working. Reports used to go to the Prime Minister's office, whether these powers by the STP directors are used or misused, whether to continue STPI scheme and all that. So in that paradigm, the Texas Instrument was the first guinea pig to experiment whether STPI scheme can really help creating jobs in India, bringing that kind of multinational company to set up R&D kind of development activities in India. Fortunately for India, that experiment worked. We started, Texas Instruments started its activities in Bangalore, a place called Miller's Road and Sona Towers, that is the building. And they wanted a satellite link on top of the building, because without data communication they can't connect to the back in US, and they want to have a co-development environment. That is the beginning of what we are seeing today across the nation. The kind of technology startups mushrooming this thing. That was the beginning, and in fact, we should give a lot of credit to Texas Instruments for forcing Indian government to create a ecosystem is required. Today, startups, why they're still suffering is still we don't have the right kind of ecosystem what is there in Silicon Valley. So that ecosystem got created through Software Technology Parks of India, starting from Bangalore for Texas Instruments in Miller Road. I was fortunate that I became the founding director of the Software Technology Parks of India, the first employee of the scheme, and I was asked to go and set up my office in the premises of Texas Instruments in the Sona Towers. I had an office there. So that is the seed which I saw. I mean, from then onwards, I saw the growth of the Indian technology industry, the so-called body shopping companies. I don't want to name the companies. They saw the advantage that instead of taking the bodies and placing them elsewhere, why don't we have the software development outsourcing activities to happen, because satellite links were available, and all the licenses are given across the table, and there is a tax holiday of 10-year income tax holiday. All the ecosystem, the components of ecosystem was provided to enable them, and no other inspector Raj, for example, pollution control or factory inspector, boiler inspector, no such inspectors or labor this thing. None of them were allowed to come to the investigate what the STP units are doing. I think that was a great initiative taken by Government of India, and that really pushed the Indian companies to look at how a complex problem can be taken to India and developed within India itself. That's how you see the growth of all our Infosys or HCL, TCS, all these companies. They become the global companies in providing all complex services across the globe. And still, I mean, that's one phase. That phase of where typical BPO kind of operations and the knowledge process of KPO kind of operation, those things were coming initially, but still we were not developing any products in India, because that technology, that kind of a manpower was not available. Thanks to East India Company, they made all Indians think like a slave. We were not allowed to, I mean, think of a product, developing a product, selling a product. That India used to do once upon a time before the Britishers came to India. India was producing lot of it, and we used to export to other countries. That's the reason why India was flourishing in those days. But systematically, East India Company killed that innovation ecosystem, killed that entrepreneurship among the Indians. We started behaving like as slaves. Whatever somebody says, yes, we'll do it. That's the reason why our IT services industry also did very well, because we were doing that kind of operations. But what happened, fortunately, Professor Moni, thanks to maybe I think we have to thank the Almighty for getting back that real strength of India. When the multinational companies started coming to India, they did not do the KPO, BPO, all the low end of the services. For example, when I was the managing director of NVIDIA Graphics, the core Tegra chip was getting developed in Hyderabad using our own employees. The same thing started happening with Microsoft India, Google India, Amazon. This thing. So with that, what happened is all the globally technology relevant products and all that started getting developed in India. That manpower was not there earlier, like a product architect or innovation driven ecosystem. We were all having the IT services manpower at scale, but we were not having the manpower to think, take an idea and productize the idea, take the product to the market. These things were not our core forte at that point of time. Thanks to this MNC R&D companies who came to India and brought all the employees from Silicon Valley, from Seattle, who worked with those big multinational companies in the R&D, developing the products. All the manpower started coming back to India. In fact, Mr. Professor Moni, when I started my company Portal Portal Player was a silicon chip product company. Initially, when I started the company in Hyderabad, in a place called Prashashan Nagar in Jubilee Hills, I was not able to get the manpower. It was a struggle for me to really recruit VLSI designers, product architects, and all that. I thought of closing down the operations, but fortunately, what I did, I took the fresh degree holders from Hyderabad, sent them to US in Silicon Valley as well as in Seattle, where our offices were there. They were trained there. They came back. Then they started producing the chip development, software products, and other things. So it was so difficult those days to think of developing any product because that kind of manpower was not available in India. Though we had several thousands and lakhs of people, they knew how to do a software services project, but we were not having the product architects and innovative architects to think out of the box, the design thinking methodologies. All these things were Greek and Latin for the Indian the software employees. So that's one element. The second element, what happened, thanks to Modi government, earlier we had, you're also from IIT Madras, I am also from IIT Madras. Those days only there few IITs and maybe one ISC Bangalore and 3-4 IIMs. Apart from that, we were not having any quality institution in the country. And unfortunately, what happened is during the IT services boom, a lot of engineering colleges came in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, and all that. They were just printing the degree certificates and pushing the people. I thought, I mean, with that kind of a low quality manpower, what is going to happen to Indian IT sector? Fortunately, again, thanks to again Indian government, they set up this premier institution at every state. We have so many states now. New states also come. For example, combined state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Not even one IIT, not even one triple IT, no IIM, no ISB, nothing was there. But today, both Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, they have IIT, they have a triple IT, they have IIM, they have ISR, they have Central University, they have all those things. On top of that, what happened, Professor Moni, even private universities like Ashoka University, Premji University, Dhirubhai Ambani University, SRM University, they also came up and they started providing the best of the best manpower, because for a startup or product, this thing for services is okay. I mean, we can take some people, train them, COBOL and some rudimentary low-end technology. Still, we will be able to, because those days is only a number of people required, and train them, put them in the bench. That used to be business model for most of the software services company. But product for startups, the kind of manpower requirement is totally different. And thanks to this MNC R&D companies, and also thanks to all these premier institutions, this thing, they started producing the manpower, quality manpower at scale. So this is another important element which is fundamental today, what we are enjoying, why we are calling this a golden era for the Indian startup, because manpower is the critical. Without manpower, nothing can be done. So that's one. The third thing, in fact, when we wanted to start the software products or the startups in Hyderabad. At that time, I was the founding president for TAI Hyderabad. So we wanted to promote the startup ecosystem in Hyderabad. So we, at that time, ISB was there, and we went to ISB Dean Professor Rao. Then we will jointly have a program to promote the entrepreneurship, promote the startup culture in Hyderabad. Then they agreed, and we had a TAI ISB Connect. Every year we used to conduct TAI ISB Connect, a flagship conference for promoting the entrepreneurship, promoting the startup. First conference when we had in Hyderabad at the ISB premises, we invited who's and who's all the venture capitalists, angel forums, because there were no angel forums or venture capitalists in Hyderabad. And we invited them, and we ran a business plan competition. After the business plan competition of the conference is over, all the VCs who came, JA, next year don't call us. We are wasting our time, because these business plans, whatever been submitted by the so-called startup companies, is worse than BTech projects. That is the kind of, they don't have an idea. Even if they have idea, they don't know how to present it. They don't know all the 9 yards how a startup company can be built. So we don't want to waste time coming to Hyderabad and all. That was in 2003, 2004, when we started TISB Connect, because there is no ecosystem for the startups. So then what we decide, yes, what is that we need to do to bring the ecosystem in Hyderabad to really encourage the startups? What is the other one apart from the manpower? Money is required. There are no angel forums in Hyderabad, and VCs were not coming here. Angel forums were not coming. So let us start the Hyderabad Angels. So me, BVR Mohan Reddy, Srini Raju, Srini Koppula, all these people, we sat together and we created Hyderabad Angels. That is the second ecosystem element for the startups. One is the manpower. Second one is the money. Third one is, again, most important, is the market access. Why market access is important? I keep telling Professor Moni, I keep comparing our great Kurukshetra war in Mahabharata time. In Mahabharata time, Kurukshetra war, though Kauravas were 100 and they had large the army behind them, and all the great warriors like Bhishma, Pitamaha, and Dronacharya, all those Saswatama, this thing. Whereas Pandavas were only 5, directed by Lord Krishna. In spite of low numbers, they were able to win the war because they had each one of them. Arjuna had the one technique, and Bhima has got this thing. Together as a team, they were able to win the war. So I thought that we need Pancha Pandavas to promote the startup ecosystem. My Pancha Pandavas were 5M technology. One is, first M is the manpower, second M is the money, third M is, like Kurukshetra war was led by Arjuna. Arjuna used to be called Majjama. The other name for Arjuna is Majjama, is a middleman. So here also in my Pancha Pandavas, Majjama is very, very important. Why that's important, Professor Moni? My own experience, when we started Portal Player, we raised about $87 million venture fund. We had great product. We had several design wins. We had offices in San Jose, Seattle, India, and we used to go to Japan and other. We had several design wins, but we were about to close the company because all the design wins, the Japanese manufacturers, oh, your product is great, your technology is great, but they were not taking the decision to manufacture that, use our technology to manufacture the kind of hard disk based MP3 players. So we literally closed Portal Player India, and we started a services company just to retain the manpower called Pinex Systems, because money was not coming. This already Series B, Series C was over. The further money was not coming because there's no revenue. Having a product, having people is not the end of the game. Because a lot of people, a lot of startups, oh, by raising a Series A funding, already my success is over, I got fund and all that. That doesn't mean anything unless you have the market access, unless there are customers, then only you are successful. So that's where the middle M, the Arjuna is very important, which is the market. So till we got a signal from Apple, from Steve Jobs, that they want to get into iPod, the first consumer electronics product using our technology. Without that, we would have died. That was the oxygen for our company. Though we had a lot of money, a lot of manpower. In fact, many of my employees, they're all from IITs, and even one of my employees in Hyderabad from Stanford. In spite of having that kind of a manpower, in spite of raising $87 million, we were about to close the company because third M was not there. So third M is very, very important, because this is the message I want to give it to all the startups. Many startups in India, they think, oh, I have a great technology and somebody has already invested money, and oh, I'm already won the game. No, that is not the way winning the game. Unless you have revenue, unless you have the customers, there's no way, you can win the game. So that's the reason why the middle M, Arjuna, is very important in my 5 M's. Then afterwards, the fourth M is the meetup events. Why meetup events is important? For example, when I was promoting the startup ecosystem, when Chandrababu Naidu became the chief minister to New Andhra Pradesh, he asked me to join the government as a special chief secretary and advisor to him. He wanted me to develop what I did in Hyderabad, the high-tech city, all that, Cyberabad and all that. This thing, same thing he wanted me to do. First 6 months, I tried. I went to all the IT services. No, there is no way we can come to Vizag because there is no advantage for him. There is no manpower there, and also the cost of living is also not cheaper in Vizag. So none of them were coming. Then how do I promote IT? At one point of time, in fact, I wanted to submit my resignation to the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh that I cannot promote IT. Then I thought, let me try bringing the startup companies to Vizag. Then again, if you think that yes, I can bring all the startup companies in the world, it's not possible because when late C.K. Prahlad, MIT professor, when you invited him when he was alive, we asked him to give a recipe why some people are succeeding as entrepreneurs, some people are failing as an entrepreneur. C.K. Prahlad, during that time, he gave a keynote at TiCon conference in San Jose. In his address, he said, my success formula, I visited so many companies, so many startups in Europe, in Silicon Valley and all that. Now I found the success formula. My success formula has got only 3 steps. Step 1, focus. Step 2, focus. Step 3, focus. And he closed the conference. So focus is very, very important. I picked up from that to this thing. Unless I have a focus to promote the new Andhra Pradesh, the two Vizag, which is not known to many people, I need to have focus. What is that focus industry? Then I started looking at which industry is really growing very well. Then I figured out the fintech industry is really taking off very well, and new technology like blockchain technology is coming and helping this emerging technologies. Then I wanted to focus on fintech and all the startup companies I want to create. That's when I came with this 5M model, and I wanted to bring all the ecosystem. We had a fintech tower in Vizag, and we conducted Vizag Fintech Festival, and we had a $1 million fintech global challenge competition, because marketing is very important. What is, I mean, why people will come all the way to Vizag, this thing. And also I went and talked to the then Chief Minister, Mr. Naidu, that, sir, market access is very important. Can you reserve? Because a lot of e-governance projects were happening in AP government, because a lot of new technologies were used in the real-time governance, headed by Chandrababu Naidu and all that, this thing. So unless you reserve some business for these startups who are coming, market access is important. And also you create some funds, sir. Whoever comes there, we will give them a fund. We'll create a manpower exclusively for these technologies. We started an institution called India International Institute of Digital Technology, the first digital technology institution in the country at Tirupati, to create the manpower for these startup companies who are coming into Visakhapatnam. So manpower was taken care of, funding was taken care of, market access, because Chandrababu Naidu wanted to give the 15% reservation for the startups who are coming to this thing. And apart from that, what I did, Professor Moni, I appointed KPMG to create a use case repository. And I appointed KPMG at the time to create the world's largest use cases, this thing. And they went to all the banks like State Bank of India, ICICI Bank, all the banks, because the banks were going digital. When they were going digital, they have lots of problems to be solved. These problems are opportunities for startups. But generally, if a startup goes to ICICI Bank or State Bank of India, I don't think they can go to the lowest officer in those big giants in the banking industry. So we appointed, the government appointed KPMG. They went and picked up what are your pain points. Give all the pain points. So we had a largest fintech use case repository. Then using that use case repository, we launched a $1 million global fintech challenge competition across the globe. When we ran this competition across the globe, everybody, oh, why this is happening in Vizag? So all the 12 countries, wherever we went, we ran using this this thing. I mean, a lot of visibility to came for Vizag, because marketing is very, very, very important. So within 2 years, Vizag Fintech Valley became one of the vibrant fintech destinations in the world. So that's how the startup ecosystem in fintech, in a focused way, we were able to build this thing with using the 5M this thing. In that, one of the M's is meetup events. The meetup, why meetup events is required? Suppose a startup company in Visakhapatnam, they've raised about say 10 lakh rupees angel money, and they're located in Vizag. For them to go to Bombay, spend 2 days in a five-star hotel, attend this thing to meet some of the people for a conference, is very difficult because they have very small amount, and that with that amount they can't go to Singapore, they can't go to other places. Then how do they get the customer? You have to take the customers to Vizag. So for that, meetup events is the most important. How meetup events will happen? If I call them come to Vizag and all that, they won't come. So we ran some of the biggest conferences. First blockchain conference in India. It's called the Blockchain Business International Conference in Visakhapatnam happened there. And also we ran the Vizag FinTech Festival, which is a 5-day festival, not just 1 day, 2 days, and 5-day festival. 57 country representatives participated in that. So that enabled all the startups in FinTech Valley, Vizag, to get access to them, talk to them, and for possible collaborations and all that. So meetup events is very, very important. The last but not the least is the mentoring. Why mentoring is very important? A lot of startups, Professor Moni, they think that my idea is great. I will become a billion-dollar company in no time. That's the kind of thing they come. Unless they mentor like you who have gone through the no. This is unless you do the research, unless you do the competition analysis, this is not the right way to think. Maybe you should look at this thing, that hand holding, directing them, the mentorship, not only in the initial stage, even after raising money also. A lot of startups, they fail because why they call death valley for startups. A lot of companies, they have recruited people, they have raised money, and there is a death valley. Most of them, they die there. That's the reason why only 1 out of 10 startups, they survive in the as per the statistics. Unless they come out of the death valley, then only they'll be able to come to the next hockey stick way of growth. That's where the mentorship is very important. The last M, which is very, very important, the mentorship. In fact, Professor Moni, what I'm doing right now, there is a conference called India Startup Festival. Last festival, we ran it at Bangalore, because Bangalore being the Silicon Valley, and we wanted to run all these startup festivals in Bangalore. So there, what we did is we brought about 2,500 startups, both early stage, late stage.
Just 1 minute, you can have the previous slide, which I think is gone up immediately. Okay, good. You talked about all the M's without showing the slide. Good.
No, I told you that I'm not good at the PowerPoint presentations. That is, I can talk at length, but I don't look at what is there in the PowerPoint. That's the reason why I said I'm not going to prepare any PowerPoint presentation. But thanks to your suggestion, at least there is some PowerPoint presentation.
No, it's very important. What all for the last 25 minutes you talked about it. When you summarized, you show the slide. So that is very important. Otherwise, people would have seen only the PowerPoint. Okay, carry on. Good.
I know. Yeah. So see, what I realized, we are talking about the last M, which is very, very important, particularly for startups, mentoring. Unless you have the right kind of mentors, they can't succeed. They may say, we have this.
You can add one more Moni at the bottom.
certainly, Professor Moni.
And I have particularly read out all the webinar title because without focus in this country cannot go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Focus is very important. I felt very happy. And focus, and Professor Prahalat did it very effectively, and there is no focus here in this country.
Absolutely.
And I'm very happy. No, it's and when somebody asked me why, Professor Moni, 1.5 hour talk you take 30 minutes, I told him that focus. I wanted to make our audience focused,
Yes.
and that is Moni. I'm very happy today listening to you as one of the, not as a moderator, but as one of the, viewer. Very good. Thank you. Please.
So, see, the reason why mentoring is so important, I'll tell you, when we had this conference at Mudranahalli near Bangalore airport, we wanted to conduct India's best startup event, inviting all the startup companies to. Why Bangalore? Because Bangalore is our Silicon Valley. I was told in HSR layout, one small area in Bangalore. In that small area, I was told there are 5,000 startups. The concentration of startups, like in Silicon Valley, that Sand Hill Road, all the startups are around Sand Hill Road. Same thing is happening in Bangalore. I thought if I'm focusing on startups, my journey should start and end at our Indian Silicon Valley, which is Bangalore. I don't think, though other cities are slowly coming up, but Bangalore is way ahead in terms of the maturity of the startups and all that. Other cities are also growing, but Bangalore has established the kind of maturity, the kind of technology people, mentors, the venture capitalists, the entire ecosystem is there. So that's the reason why I selected Bangalore to run this, the India's the biggest startup festival called India Startup Festival. Last festival was on October 1st and 2nd. More than 2,500 startups, early stage, growth stage, they all competed for competition. And in that 2,500, we selected 150 startups to come for the final demo day. Out of 150, we selected 15 startups. So normally, Professor Moni, after the conference, everybody talks, everybody listens, Ayaram, Gayaram, afterwards nothing happens, right? Most of the conferences. But I told them the conference has to be a result-oriented conference. After the conference, they selected 15 companies. Every week, one company we are giving the opportunity, and there are more than 100 mentors. I requested all my mentors to give 1 hour a week, every Saturday, 10:30 to 11:30. They are all big CEOs of multinational companies, venture capitalists, HNIs. They all have donated 1 hour to listen to the complete pitch, because normally what happens in the demo day, they get 10 minutes, 5 minutes. In the 5 minutes, he is not able to really explain what are the problems, where he is struggling, all that is. So we give enough time. Even if he wants to exceed more than 1 hour also, we are patiently listening, because unless we listen, what are his pain points, where he needs support, where we can all. So that is really helping Professor Moni. For example, I'll tell you one of the startups were selected by us during the India Startup Festival. They are into both. The founders are all from Indian Air Force pilots. They wanted to create flight simulators, because flight simulators very costly, and one has to import from other countries. I was told it costs about 15 to 20 million dollars. And these people, they I mean they are pilots. Flying the not just ordinary civilian aircraft, but defense aircrafts. They thought, using that domain knowledge, they want to create indigenous flight simulators. They invested their own personal money. They built a mechanical, hydraulic, and all the software, this thing. And they also participated their pitch in our this thing. Well, they are one of the 15 companies. They were the first one to start in our journey as a mentorship. After listening to their story, within a week's time, Professor Moni, we connected them to the DRDO chairman, then Aeronautical Development Agency head, Mr. Jadhav in Bangalore, and one or two companies who are also into defense critical technology. They are also producing the products and exporting the thing. And within that 1 or 2 weeks, the Aeronautical Development Agency head Jadhav came to Hyderabad, visited their small facility in Hyderabad, and whole day they spent this thing. Now they have almost agreed to make them as a developmental partner to develop the aircraft simulators for all their aircraft, which they're being designed and built by ADA. Just, see the mentoring. How, see, normally for him to get connected to DRDO chairman and all this, it's impossible, because startup company, there are limitations. Whereas you and I may, because of our this thing, we can send a message, talk to somebody. Yes, they will listen to them and all that. That's where the importance of mentoring. The second startup, there is a tech company next week, and when they were presenting, one HNI said, how much money you are looking for to expand? That entrepreneur said, maybe $2-3 million. Why don't you come along with your partner to meet me tomorrow? When they met him, and he said, I can invest about 30-40 crores into a company to take your company to the next level. Normally, the VCs and all that, they take 6 months to 8 months to close a deal. Whereas the individual investors, HNIs, if they think that the product is good, the founders are good, that's what is happening. So mentorship is very, very important. This thing, that's what the through the India Startup Festival, we want to make sure by the time we go to the this year's festival, which is going to happen August 11th, 12th, and 13th, we want all these 15 companies to give a presentation. When they presented in India Startup Festival in 22 to now, what all happened, how the mentoring helped them, they have to give their own success stories. So this is the kind of thing that is very important for our startups really to succeed. Mentorship is the, I will give the maximum importance, not to the money, not to the manpower, all those things is possible, but mentorship, right kind of guidance is absolutely required, and holding is required, not a lip sympathy. In Telugu we call uchita salahalu. A lot of people they give, that's not going to work. So why the topic India now today is on the cusp of taking the startups to the greater heights. There are two three elements have happened. India, has got quality manpower at scale because of I mentioned IITs and IIMs and all the research universities, even universities like your university and all that thing. So we have a quality manpower at scale. In fact, Professor Moni, one venture capitalist, we have got a fund, one fund in Silicon Valley, one fund for India startups. He was telling me, JA, if I invest in one Silicon Valley based company, $1 million, within 3 months that money is gone because salaries and cost of operations and all those things. Same $1 million, if I invest in similar kind of people, maybe more capable in India, they'll come out with a product with a pilot. This thing 1.5 year, 2 years. They can survive because of cost of operations. The same quality manpower is available in Silicon Valley, available in Bangalore or Hyderabad. This thing. So that is the reason why today lot of venture capitalists are looking towards India. That's another important thing. The third important thing, thanks to digital India, thanks to our Aadhaar, biometric Aadhaar, the India stack on the UPI and all that, this thing, India is connected digitally. 1.5 billion people who are connected digitally. That's the biggest market nowhere in the world, maybe except China. China, for many companies, very difficult to get into the China market and all that. Whereas India, because we have got good governance. Our In fact, I keep telling as a joke, when you take any foreigner to any chief minister, they give more importance to the foreigner than you, because that is the kind of culture that we have. We have got Atiti Devo Bhava. That means the guests have to be given more importance. Whereas in many countries, they give only importance to the locals and not to the outsiders. Whereas India, our legal system, our politicians, our bureaucrats, all those people, they give a lot of respect to our guests. Atithi is given that kind of this thing. So because of that, a lot of companies, they feel comfortable coming to India, investing in India, investing in our startups. That is another big thing is happening. Apart from the biggest market, India is a very big market, growing market. Everybody is saying, for example, the Jam Trinity, what our Honorable Prime Minister keeps on talking about, Jandan, Aadhaar, Mobile, that has created a big opportunity for the Indian startups. In fact, Professor Moni, during the COVID times, when I was in my village, I went to a temple. When I was coming out of the temple, a lot of beggars were asking me to give some money. When I looked at my purse, only 5,000 rupee notes were there. I told them I don't have a change. When I was about to get into the car, one young beggar, sir, do you have Google Pay? I was stunned. I don't have Google Pay, whereas this smart beggar, he has got a smartphone and also he has got a Google Pay. That is the digital adoption. That is the kind of people that we have, the adoption of any technologies. Now the farmers are using the smartphones. Farmers are having participating in the webinars, and they are talking to the consultants using the Zoom calls and all that. This thing, the whole India is connected. That is the biggest market for any startup. This was not there earlier. So that these are the 2-3 things which I see why India is going to exceed well in the startup ecosystem, and they have proved. Today there are more than 75,000 startups, registered startups. Earlier, there were only about 4,000 startups. There is a exponential growth of startups which are happening, and many of the startups already crossed that unicorn level. Some of them may go even beyond the borders of that unicorn level, and that number is growing. For example, the recent one was Freshworks, who came out of the Zoho Corporation, and when they listed in the New York Stock Exchange, more than $13 billion market cap. So that is the kind of companies are coming, and there's the opportunity for the Indian startup because of all the ecosystem components have taken place. We have quality manpower at scale. All the venture capitalists are available. All the HNIs who are earlier, in fact, in Hyderabad, Professor Moni, when we started our fund, the Succeed Innovation Fund, when I started asking some of my friends who are infrastructure players and real estate players, no, if I invest 10 crores in one property, I get double the money minimum for 1 year and all that. That was the kind of a mindset. When we had a first annual day celebration for our fund, I invited many of the real estate, my friends who are into infrastructure and all that. After seeing how our Succeed Innovation Fund invested in those startups, so how they're doing very well, and some of them may become a unicorn. Then after that, everybody said, "Jay, we also wanted to put money. We want to become LPs in our fund and all that." This thing. So this was not there earlier. Earlier, getting the limited partner money into any startup fund, that was not there. It's only was existing in countries like US and other developed countries. Suddenly, that momentum is taking place because they have seen the success of startup companies becoming billionaires. And I will give you 2-3 incidents which happened, Professor Moni. When I was giving a talk in Cochin, when I was invited for a fintech conference in Cochin, after my talk, they presented one company promoted by Keralites, and that day they declared we have become a $1 billion company. When I looked at them, they came from very ordinary families from Kerala, and today they're billionaires. That's one thing. Second thing, when recently the new T Hub building in Hyderabad got inaugurated by Honorable Chief Minister KCR Garu, I was sitting there in the front row. I was watching Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister invited not only the unicorns from Hyderabad, but unicorns from other places from India, and also Sunicorns. And he was felicitating them with shawl and all that this thing. One lady in front of me, she was taking some pictures, and I requested her, why don't you move other side? She came to me, sir, my son is receiving a medal from Honorable Chief Minister. Oh my God, she is looking very ordinary, and her son is already billionaire. See, earlier, Professor Moni, only big companies, business families only can start a company and all that. Today, anybody, any farmer, if he has got an idea, and there are some investors to invest in him, and the whole world is their market. In fact, recently when I attended the Thai Global Summit in Hyderabad, ICICI Ventures head, Hitesh Sachdeva, he brought one young person called Jaydev. And he said, Mr. Jaydev is actually from Rajasthan. He is not from Silicon Valley, Bangalore, or Hyderabad. He has got, he came from a very small village in Rajasthan state. And today, he's already crossed 100 crore turnover, not on valuation basis. 100 crore turnover, a small, it comes from a poorest family in a small village in Rajasthan, and he is able to do that technology, the fintech company, 100 crore he has already crossed. So that is the opportunity today. If We have that idea. There are people to invest in your idea. The whole market, if you want to start some other businesses, you should know who is the secretary, industries, who is chief minister, who is the minister concerned. For a technology company, I mean, if I go to Silicon Valley, I need not have to check who is the secretary, who is the minister, who is the president of America, and all that. I'll start my company, and I will get my money, and I may become a billionaire company. Same situation is happening in India in the technology zone. They need not have to know who is the government concerned officer at all, because they are all they can be started in their own homes. And particularly the working from home concept now, it's happening at scale now in India. Even villages, in a small village, people are starting their startups. And I'll tell you an example. When I was in my village during the COVID time, I have a 500-acre organic farm. A lot of my farm workers, they live in my own campus. One girl who was studying in 11th grade at that time, I started mentoring her. Today, she got admission in Cornell University with the full scholarship. And she came from very ordinary background. Her father is a farm worker in my village, in my farm. And that is the kind of a transformation is happening. Now, my second point is how the opportunities in rural India, and because the manpower, we thought only people are going to be available in urban areas, and now this is not at all true. In fact, Professor Moni, when we were promoting FinTech Valley Vizag, along with the Honorable then Chief Minister Mr. Naidu, we went to Silicon Valley. We wanted to request some companies to come and invest in Vizag. And Sridhar Vembu and his partner Vekishna Raju, Joho Corporation founders, they came and met our Honorable Chief Minister. So our Chief Minister told, you are a multi-billion-dollar company, you are doing so well in the products and all that. In Vizag, on the top of Rishikonda, overlooking the ocean, whatever land you want, we'll give it. You please set up your development center there, R&D center there and all. Then Sridhar Vembu said, sir, we don't want to come to Vizag. Maybe you can give land in Kuppam, we can set up our development. Naidu Garu said, no, Kuppam is not that kind of a developed, it's a remote kind of a rural area. You don't get the right manpower and all that. No, we want manpower only from rural India. Then I asked him, what kind of people you're recruiting? We recruit either 10th class or 12th class, that too from rural India. Then I asked him, why the same 10th class, 12th class, plenty of them in the urban areas, why you are not taking? Then Sridhar Vembu said, look, in the urban area, they have air-conditioned home. They go by air-conditioned bus, air-conditioned classrooms. In some international schools, air-conditioned playgrounds. The minds are all conditioned. We don't want conditioned minds to come and work in our product, because we want out-of-the-box thinkers. Whereas if you go and recruit people from rural background, tomorrow, whether they can go to the school and they have to see how innovatively they have to think, to study and pass through that this thing. And that is one example which I mentioned. A small girl has gone to Cornell University with full scholarship. That's the kind of minds that we want to recruit in Joho Corporation. The reason why we are producing great products competing with global giants, because these are all out-of-the-box thinkers. Whereas if people in the urban areas, their creativity or kind of this, we don't want to take such people. That's one data point. The second data point, Professor Moni, why I'm bullish about rural India. Majority of the population is still in rural India, more than 60%. And Mahatma Gandhiji always talked about the rural economy, agrarian economy. Today, that is going to happen, because I see in my town, I come from Anantapur district. Earlier, only one convent school, small convent school used to be there. Today, there are 6 international schools, and people are paying 3 to 5 lakhs per student per annum. So, the lot of economic activity in the rural area is also happening, and the whole and lots of problems in the agriculture sector, food sector. For example, in my 500-acre farm, biggest problem for me is the labor. I'm not able to get the labor this thing to do the agriculture. So at one point of time, I want to sell up the whole thing because of the problem. There are many problems. Even large land banks. This thing, people like me, we are not able to succeed in agriculture. What about 1 acre, 2 acre marginal farmers? They have lots of issues. These are the issues. These are the problems. Opportunities for the startups. If startups companies come with a innovative, maybe a small robots can walk into the farm and plug the this thing. Maybe there some innovators can come with kind of solutions. So I see wherever there are problems, that's the opportunity for a startup company. So these problems are plenty in India, that too in rural India. So I see a biggest potential, and also manpower. Earlier, we thought that where is the manpower in rural? This thing, the teachers are not there and all that. Now, who are the teachers? My grandsons, one is 5 years old, other one is 11 years old, and my 11 years old is already built a robo using a Raspberry Pi, and he is good at Python and all that. I asked my daughter, where did he learn? Everything from YouTube. Google is their teacher. So technology is level playing field. Whether a small boy or girl in the rural area, village, is the same thing versus somebody studying in California. It's the same thing. Technology is the same. Where whatever he's studying or she's studying in California, same village farm worker daughter also, because internet is there everywhere in the country, they can also access the same YouTube. They can also go to the same courses, and they can also get the open degrees, as you said. Your open innovation, open courses, open this thing, that is helping the rural India in a big way. And a lot of rural innovators are going to come. Rural manpower with out of the box thinking is going to come. A lot of opportunities going to come in the rural area. That's the reason why our next conference, which is going to be August 11th, 12th, 13th, we are focusing on the innovations at the bottom of the pyramid, innovation for bottom of the pyramid, and rural innovations, rural startups. In the first day, we are all focusing on agri, food technologies. What are the opportunities in the rural area? In fact, you should take a major role in our conference, Professor Moni, because the kind of seminars what you handled, I think you are very well versed with those. This thing, I request you to be part of our conference committee. And the reason why I wanted to bring that this thing, we want to bring the urban economy and rural economy, but to bridge that gap. Otherwise, if you leave on this thing, only start creating Hyderabad, Bangalore, and all that, this thing, one day the agitation will come. I mean, you have not done something. We have to pull them up. We have to create more unicorns from the rural area. Then they are also good, and you are also good, and they are able to take care of the families. In fact, when I visited my mother's village in Anantapur district, and that village always no water and this thing. Recently, when I visited, I mean, they all built. Earlier, huts used to be there. Now all cement buildings and all that. I asked them, how come suddenly, I mean, this village has become rich village? They said, no, not because based on our agriculture. My sons or daughters who are working in Infosys, TCS, and Cognizant, every month they're sending some money. Apart from that, during the COVID time, work from home, they all came here. Internet was there, and they looked at our this thing. We were I mean, living in the huts and all that. They took loans and they funded, and now they constructed homes and all that. This thing, that the way the rural economy driven by again our technology startups or manpower, it's helping across the nation. It's just not only few cities, Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, and all that. They say wherever, like the Rajasthan, one small village, why he became 100 crore company. This is the golden era. This is the what I mean. I want to talk about this way. We will continue for the next maybe 10-20 years. And as per the Morgan Stanley report, India is going to be $10 trillion economy, and all the software exports itself, he says in that report, more than 3 times our whatever we are doing the software exports today is going to be tripled in the next 5 to 7 years, and a lot of activities, a lot of investment is going to come. Today, look at why India is shining, because geopolitical situation, whatever is happening in China, whatever is happening because of war in Europe, whatever the recession is happening in USA, and whereas in India, I mean, is a shining country. I mean, with so many possibilities, overall economy, our tax collections are year by year is increasing, and there's a lot of infrastructure money is just pumped into the system. A lot of new jobs are getting created. On top of that, in technology, we are number one in terms of the adoption of the technology, in terms of the cost effective technology, thinking out of the box, this thing in the market for the startup itself, and the funding availability. Because of that, I'm very bullish on Indian startup growth in the next 10-20 years. This is certainly a golden era for the country. We have come one complete circle. Once upon a time, we are on top of the world, and unfortunately, through various whatever happened in history, and we became slaves and we became poorest country. Now we're again started going in the right path, and we are going to be one of the world leaders and superpowers in the coming years. I really want to thank Professor Moni for giving me this opportunity to give a talk on this very, very important topic and very passionate topic for me. Thank you.
Very nice, Chowdhary Garu. It is very important topic, and I was totally immersed in the talk. And it is you are able to trace out the total history. In 0 AD, both the India and China were having 50% of the world GDP. In 0 AD.
Yes.
And 1947, India has been reduced to single digit contribution to world GDP, and the reason also you said it very clearly, and I think it is an upward trend, and the world situations, we don't belong to any, we are non-aligned, we don't belong to any bloc, and that's why we're able to take decisive decisions.
Absolutely.
It is not a biased decision. It is a decisive decisions,
Yes.
and and not only for us, or also for the whole world. That's why we are rebuilding Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam.
Yes, absolutely. You're right.
Whether India is based on a culture. It's a cultural country.
Yes.
It is not based on some other faith.
We believe in Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam.
And it's a cultural country, and we look at it. And
Yes.
every aspect which we go through every minute is based on our culture. Is not based on somebody said it.
Absolutely.
And I'm very happy today. And the topic is very important. And you also gave a big historical background, which our computer science students should know, which our higher education institutions should know about it.
Yes.
And people, since we are from the same, IIT, and with the same background, we have gone up. Professor Muthukrishnan, Professor Kalyani Krishnan used to tell me, Moni, you are the only student you got into the policy making.
Oh,
all the students have gone to earn dollars.
USA.
But
Yeah.
and you are the only man who got into the government and getting into the policy making and what is needed for country. And I'm very happy. Today, you said it that, why the rural India is more important. I have been voicing from 1987 onwards, when I was given an opportunity by National Informatics Center when we were asked to go for expansion. And DISNIC was one of the project district information system of NIC and NICNET.
Yes.
And DISNIC was given to me, and NICNET was given to my senior colleague, Dr. Vijay Ditya. And one system with the 5 terminals in every district collectorate. And my boss called me that this is a 6-letter DISNIC, and you give muscle, brain, fat, everything, you give it to that. And I thought that it's a God-sent opportunity to me, that a person who was born and brought up in rural area, we've seen what the poverty is, and let us bring it out, the systems adoption, technology adoption. Rather than working for what the district collector wants, we will propose what the district wants for its development.
Yes.
And I took Kerala as a model. Many people asked me that, why, Moni, you have taken Kerala? It is a communist country. They will not adopt a computerization. I said it that Kerala is a proven successful model because of, they did wonders in literacy program and also family planning. They were the number one state, and it is a national scheme. And when I went and conducted, half a day workshop in every district collectorate, and the government, and then government has organized that meeting. But in some of the district, when I raised, I was shown go back Moni. Today, when our Prime Minister visits Kerala, he has a go back Modi. But I see it in 87, go back Moni, we don't need computerization. After the discussion in district, when I had a discussion with the state level, and even the government changed, communist government came, headed by Mr. E.K. Nayanar. I'm just giving a historical background. People should know. Even today's bureaucrats should know, top to bottom. And Gauri Amma is an industries minister.
Yes.
He sent a note that we understand that an official from central government is discussing with the government here for introducing computerization. We have to take a call, and he should be asked to go back. And luckily, Kerala is a God-owns country. And Kerala, then government wanted to use our network for national games. And in NIC and ERNDC joined together. We established, that, a small MIDI computer, in ERNDC building, Vellayampalam. And Sports Minister, Mr. Neela Logitha Dasanadar, and the sports organizer, director, Sports Minister Gigi Johnson, later he retired as the Chief Secretary, Government of Kerala. They asked me, I told him that it seems that the file has gone to their decision-making center, AKG, AK Gopala, AK Kopalan. He is a senior communist leader, and it may be in coma for years. So I'm going back. I'm going to Delhi. And next day, Mr. Neela Logitha Nadar, Sports Minister, raised it in the steering committee meeting of National Games. And there it was attended by the then two chief ministers, Mr. E.K. Antony and Mr. Karnakaran. And it is the capability of the E.K. Nayanar, the then Honorable Chief Minister. He said, let us use this system for national games, and afterwards we'll take a call. And as soon as the games are over, in the first district collectors conference, he took a decision, and every opposition party in the country should learn from Mr. E.K. Nayanar. He said there's a national game, and it goes to throughout India. And India, Kerala also should get benefit out of it. And if we have to spend money for our own government, state government budget, we may oppose computerization, but then we will have a different call. And he asked the district collectors and secretaries to adopt a Government of India scheme for going for government computerization. Now you see the decision which has taken Neela Logitha Dasanadar and Mr. E.K. Nayanar and Moni. And today Kerala is an IT hub for many MNCs.
Absolutely.
And today's bureaucrats, they don't understand. For them, it is they are always looking for near future, near present, near past. It's a
good startups are also coming. Good startups are also coming.
Kerala. That's that. It is. I always used to say, recently on October 28th, last 2022, I was invited to address the Indian Civil Service Officers Trainee 2022 batch at Kevadia. And there was one session on agriculture and technology, Secretary Agriculture, and myself and one advisor from World Bank. I gave the same example. And and then I presented in 5 district collectors conference, which Mr. Rajiv Gandhi organized. And that's how the whole program came. I visualized 28 sectoral database development program. And agricultural, animal husbandry, and brought out documents. And forward was given by then Cabinet Secretary Mr. T. N. Sheshan. Many people used to say it looks like a World Bank report. And that's how we visualized it. And with the technology available now, that time it is only D-based technology. And we were able to do informatics revolution. And if the state governments would have adopted and operationalized, today with artificial intelligence and blockchain technology and big data analytics, we would have got every house-wise data point.
Yes.
And, then everybody has got an IT budget, everybody has got an IT secretary, everybody has got their own, state governments, computerization and so on and so forth. Today, there is no e-governance program, bottom-up approach. It is only that what the government wants, they have computerized it. And,
I agree.
And it is that one. And today we don't have even a comprehensive village level information system. Reports are available. And 95, I was given opportunity to look once again for agriculture as a total sector. That's how I came out with a national conference in Vigyan Bhavan. 450 people participated. 2 days conference, 15 informatics network program. And Dr. Balram Jakar, then agriculture minister, came, and in the valedictory meeting, I asked him, I requested, sir, kindly allocate 3 to 6% of the agriculture budget for IT. 95, 15 informatics network program. When I asked for that fund from NIC to have this conference, my boss, Dr. Sheshagiri, said no budget for you. No budget for you. Then I didn't stop it. I wrote letters to the chairman of public sector banks. I got 6.25 lakh rupees on that time. And that's how that, the 15 informatics network program in 95, and then 28 sectoral database development program in 1987. And I'm the connecting dots. I'm still alive. And if the whole bureaucracy would have developed on this line, today India would have been a much better country.
I agree with you.
And 2002, I got the smart village program approved by the planning commission, then planning commission. And I wanted to bring, and I used to write the annual report and the 5-year plan draft for the NIC. I even told that the NIC has got now state level departments, and we have to have a national center for sectoral informatics centers.
Yes.
26 centers I proposed in 2002-2007 5-year plan, so that this is things will develop, and we have to strong in informatics led development. Nothing has happened, even though it is in the 5-year plan. And even smart village program was never allowed to be operationalized. Once again, even though it is a technical department, technology department, but more bureaucratic approach. But I never looked back. But with the support of the Minister of Agriculture, I have gone for a total sectoral systems. And by 2013, I was able to operationalize even 7,032 location below district level for monitoring national animal disease reporting system. Andhra Pradesh is the only state which got major benefit because it is a block level, but they got mandal system, more than 2,000 mandals. And even all 2,000 mandals, they got one computer for monitoring national animal disease reporting systems. And then I thought that there is a rural distress, and this has to be converted as an agricultural informatics as a discipline. This is where this the Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology is based in Meerut. They are also coming from agriculture family. They said that they invited me to be the Professor Emeritus and to establish agricultural informatics. It's the first private university. Not even public universities have got that is in the world to have a Center for Agricultural Informatics and e-government research program. I visualized that unless India is an agrarian economy, everybody has to work for Indian economy, that is agriculture economy. All the other things are secondary.
Our culture is agriculture.
And then, worked at an MTech level agricultural informatics program to train agriculture graduates, engineering students, and postgraduate students to get into, agricultural discipline through IT. And how to support 14 crore operational holders. And this is how my journey started. I'm not a computer science. I'm not an agriculture scientist, but in the country, looks at me. And this is the path which I put it. And when I was walking with the barefoot at the this level, you said it very nicely. The many companies, they were doing body shopping. But today, they don't know what the journey which person now called Professor Moni and traveled. And now this companies, they said that what India should do. I know, this is why still they were on the colonial mindset.
Yes.
And they don't bother about it. I wrote even an article in 2004 rural India to shine and smile and roar with the
Nice.
five projects I initiated.
Send me that article to me.
I'll send it to you. And then, then I thought that this is what, and 5 centers of excellence. And I was associated with the doubling farmers' income. From 1987 onwards up to 2016, I put it as a 7 mission mode program, bringing all the government schemes together at the farm level. And then pilot projects and another 40 pilot projects. But unfortunately, till today, Ministry of Agriculture has not even notified. And this is happening under Mr. Modi government. He set up the committee, and the committee has submitted its report. They also put a doubling farmers' income, digital technology in agriculture separate volume. Till today, they have not even called for a meeting with me. Neither Ministry of Agriculture, nor Niti Aayog, nor Ministry of IT and Electronics. And this is what they should do that. And then on October 15th to 16th, when Honorable Defense Minister and Agriculture Minister called for a meeting, 15 experts, I was one among them. I told them, when these farm laws were not there, we had a blueprint for IT in agriculture in 1995. We asked for 3 to 6% of the agriculture budget for IT in agriculture. But finally, government agreed for 2 to 3% IT for every department. That's once again, Moni was instrumental for IT budget for many central government department.
Yes.
And then, and now with the 3 farm laws, and this will pay the way for 2.25 lakh agri-tech startups in the country. And we should support it. And this will bring farming as a service.
Yes. Yes.
And this is what, when farm laws were there, only I was, with the help of Minister of Agriculture, I was promoting 15 informatics network. And this will change a lot. And both the ministers said that, yes, we should have a discussion. And after, till now, it has happened in 2020. But till now, there is no discussion. And I think, rural India, even I also would like to quote 2012, the then chairman of the Hindustan Unilever Limited in their shareholder meeting said it. Rural India can bring in $1.9 trillion economy to add to the Indian GDP 2012 if technology is adopted. And now you multiply with the dollar value. You said it by 2035, that $10 trillion, even it can exceed even $20 trillion. Because every district has become, every district has to become a developed economy.
Absolutely.
Every district. But there is no development plan for a district in this country till now. You have a state plan board, and the state plan board don't know what is district. And there is no district development plan for 25 years. Because each district has got a different natural resource accounting, different climatic zone, and different culture. And then we have to go for market surplus, productivity. So it is a time that we need a CEO for every district.
Absolutely. I think that's the way forward.
Because every district has got more than 2,000 crores per annum it goes from taxpayers' money. And it needs a collective cooperative effort for making every district, because many of the districts are even population-wise, area-wise, is larger than many of the European economy.
Yes.
And we have, with the technology, and every district, now you see that it is a work from home in villages. And 6.25 lakh villages have to be part of the developed economy. And it is not that by giving road and communication. It has to have a sustainable road and sustainable communication.
Yes.
It's very important. And then that's why in this one, we now put a slogan, one agri, even the 2013, in the presence of Secretary IT, I demanded as a Director General NIC that convert 10% of the common services center, bring under NIC, district center. They are coordinating, digitalization. It doesn't happen. But once again, 2023 on 7th, the same MD came and he said that, Professor Moni, it is a time that we have to have 6 lakhs, 1 agri CSC per each village, 10 jobs per each common service center, 6 million jobs, and 2.25 lakh agri-tech startup. Agriculture sector is the only sector which can give this many agri-tech startups, no other sector.
Agree.
And this has to come to Gram Panchayat level, not in IITs, not in triple ITs, not in IIMs, not in other universities.
Absolutely.
And it has to come down.
Yes.
And then during COVID situation, I thought that with this much let me use this internet capability, university platform, and I thought that let promote the recommendation of the Doubling Farmers Income Committee report every Thursday.
Very good.
And we have 1 lakh primary agriculture cooperative societies and 22,000 primary fisher cooperative societies. We don't want to make it as a value chain. We give a loan and then waive the loan. Associate 1 agri-tech startup with each cooperative society. They will have 100 members, they will have 200 members, they will have 1,000 members.
Yep.
And 400 agriculture commodities. India has got 365 days of sunshine. Rain more than Israel. Rainfall. Yeah. And every rain, after rainfall, without anybody's approval, it goes to either Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. And then if the non-monsoon season, states fight for water share. And we don't have a water harvesting methods. And inland fisheries alone can bring more dollars to India. And that's why I thought that these webinars, and one on technology in association with ARDO, which is a 31-member country, so that what India develops, it can go to other 30-member countries of ARDO. And I completed, completed 107 webinars in Doubling Farmers Income by 2022 and 104th edition today. Many people said that, it is in India, people can criticize. They said that, Professor Moni, what will you do after 2022, March 2023? I will continue to call Doubling Farmers Income by 2022. Because now we'll see that everybody has to work for this one. Yes. Every engineering college, every IIT, every NIT, every triple IT has to operationalize Doubling Farmers Income by 2022 recommendation. Digital technology and agriculture.
That is the
crux. And even district level administration do not even know that there is a digital, Doubling Farmers Income Committee report, and there is a volume 12B in digital technology and agriculture. They have a digital policy in the district level. What are they doing with that if it cannot support farmer? And a farmer, we don't even work for bring it to appropriate processing and appropriate market for farmers' produce. And that's how I felt very happy that we have created it's an ecosystem, and that's now that with we have to create a lot of human resources at the higher level.
Yes.
And we need agriculture polytechnic. We need to have agriculture ITIs, so that the boys from lower education in group have to get into agriculture. BS agriculture students don't want to do farming; they want to become an agriculture officer, and in bank as well as government.
Correct.
And even government has to say that if you want to become a government officer, you would have 10 years of agriculture operation after BSc. That is the internship which you should have it. Then only you will become automatically government officer, not through the State Public Service Commission appointment. So I felt very happy after listening to your talk, Chowdhary Garu, and it is a very important talk. And I love geography and I love history, and I have seen a historical background, because we come from the same discipline, same background, and same understanding. And you said it, Texas Instruments is a pioneer in making software technology park of India.
Yes.
Now and another wing of NIC, when I was given this one, the district level programs, the previous avatar of e-governance, and we put up fantastic for what do you call these the foundations when technology was not available. and information system as a building blocks, and technology can be adopted on a building blocks. And I'm very happy, and and I'm so happy that, and today you are able to find time to deliver a talk, and it's a very important talk, and hope that this goes as a message to all the participants. And I invite you to get associated with the university in whatever
Sure.
capacity you would like to have it.
Sure.
And let us have a strong innovation lab in the center for 5 centers of excellence in the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, to motivate, because they were the front runners. They are the people who visualized it, and that is very important. And let us work together and make rural India to shine, smile, and roar. Thank you very much for joining today. And even though it is a 1 hour 30 minutes program, today we were able to talk and discuss for the duration of 1 hour 55 minutes and 56 seconds. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Mr. Manish, is there any chat box message? Can you display if it is there? Yes. You keep it for some time. Hello. You can respond, Mr. Chowdhary Garu, for this message.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Basin, for excellent and encouraging word. Thank you so much.
And let me also take a printout. No, you please, Mr. Manish, you put it. And it is an honor to attend this program with the great intellect leaders, and I'm very happy about that. It's good, and thank you very much. And let us, I thank Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency, the Secretary General Ordo, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and faculty members and participants, and
Thank you.
And the guest speaker, J. Chowdhary Garu, and for your important, very innovative talk. And this is what we should contribute, and let us continue to do, and for the state of Andhra Pradesh and for other parts of the country. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.